What is going on, guys? TalkNorwichCity here, back with my first video since I've been home from holiday. It's been a little while since I've sat here and done a video, so it's good to be back. Today I'm going to be previewing this weekend's FA Cup clash against Manchester City. I'm going to be doing my predicted 11/preferred 11 ahead of this game, and I'm going to go out there and say straight from the start that this is probably the hardest preferred/predicted 11 I've done for a very long while, because I just don't know how Alex Neil is going to approach this game. Normally he's very up for cup games, but the circumstances are a bit different this time. Manchester City are an incredibly strong side who have incredible strength and depth. Even if they put like a second team out against our first team, they'll probably do quite well. I'm not disregarding us here, I'm just telling the truth. And also, do we really need to go on a cup run this season? Is this season all about cup runs, or is it about surviving and finding the correct players in this January transfer window to move forwards? I'm sure we'll take this cup game very seriously, but I'm not too sure if we'll put out a first 11. But saying that, looking at our players and who we've got, we haven't actually got that many players who can fill in and who aren't like regular first team players, because we've just rotated the team so much this season, and we've got a lot of our youngsters out on loan, which doesn't leave too many players who aren't playing regular football. I mean, you could include Kyle Lafferty and the likes of that list, but I don't think he'll be playing because I reckon he'll be gone this transfer window. So it's a difficult one. First of all, in goal, I'm going to put John Ruddy in there. I think he needs to be playing football to keep up a certain standard, and I think that comes in the cup competitions. I think there's a chance for him to prove himself once again and try and win some Norwich fans back, me included, because I've lost a bit of faith in John Ruddy. So I think I'd put John Ruddy in goal for that reason. Out at right back, I'm going to put Stephen Whittaker in there. I'm still not too sure about Andre Wisdom's injury situation, so I've left him out. You don't want to be risking him in cup games that don't really mean too much. So Stephen Whittaker goes out at right back. I think Stephen Whittaker's fairly decent. Maybe not Premier League standard, but I think he's decent enough to be put in there at right back. By the way, I'm not just looking at my mug for inspiration. It's holding my phone up, which has got the team on. But it is a pretty cool mug. Centre-back pairing of Basong and Bennett. This is positions that we don't really have many players lying in. This is why we need a decent centre-back in January, because I was looking at the team list and we literally don't have any more centre-backs except for Basong and Bennett. You could put Russell Martin into that equation, but the only person who thinks he's a centre-back is Gordon Strachan himself and Alex Neil for some reason. And then out at left-back, I've put Martin Olsen in there. The formation I'm going for is a 4-2-3-1. Again, not too sure on the formation to play. I thought maybe two holding midfielders could cope with their midfield. They're obviously going to try and pack that out and go for us, and also add a bit of stability. And then the forward three, or the three in behind the striker, you can always have two dropping back, so it sort of turns into a 4-4-1-1 when we're defending, and a 4-2-3-1 when we're going forwards. All very confusing. I'm confusing myself here. The midfield pair, I'm going with Gary O'Neill and Malumbu. I think Gary O'Neill has been excellent for us this season. I think he was unlucky to lose his space when he did. I really like Gary O'Neill though, and I think he's an experienced player who, in these types of games, could be very influential and could be the factor of winning or losing this game. He brings a lot of experience, as I said, and he's a very decent football player. Next to him, Youssouf Malumbu, once again, loads of Premier League experience, can hold the midfield fairly decent. I want to see a bit more from Youssouf Malumbu. I think he's a quality player. I think he's a quality, tough tackling player. But in terms of moving the ball on and passing the ball, I don't think he's that great, although I haven't seen that from him. He could be amazing, but the games he's played for Norwich City hasn't really shown too much ability when it comes to passing. The three in behind the striker then is a pretty mismatched three, to be honest. Johnny Howson sort of on the right. I'm going with Vadis Adidrofo in the middle, and then Houlihan out on the left. Literally couldn't think of any other players to put in there. I really do want to see Vadis playing. I think he could prove a really decent player this season, almost like a new signing, because a lot of us have forgotten about him because of that horrific knee injury he had. And it seems, I wasn't here for the game, but from the highlights I saw and from all the fans' thoughts, he was awesome in the last game against Southampton, which is really pleasing to see. And he's looked pretty decent in the under-21s games he's played as well on his road to recovery. So that'd be really cool if Vadis would play. Once again, game time under his belt, and just constantly getting in the face of Alex Neil to try and put him in the starting 11 in the Premier League on a regular basis. But again, this team is very tricky to pick because we've got a game next Wednesday against Stoke, and Man City had a game on, what was it, Wednesday night or Tuesday night in the Carling Cup. So they've literally got 2 games in the space of like 3 days. That's crazy. The same with Liverpool, who've got an FA Cup game on the Friday night. So Man City pretty much don't have time to train. They've literally just got time to recover and then go again. So it's going to be a really interesting encounter, this. One that could really go either way because you doubt Manchester City will play a first team. Anyway, check out my match preview for all that stuff. This is the first 11 video. So Johnny Howson, I think, can play a part. Once again, haven't been too convinced with Johnny Howson this season. I think that's mainly because he's been played on the right a bit too much. Admittedly, I have got him sort of on a narrow right-hand side here, but he would be playing more from the middle of the park. And then Wes Hoolahan out on the left. He's like a fine wine. He gets better with age. Wes Hoolahan is a fantastic player, and he's going in my start 11. And then we've got the striker conundrum, which we have every week. I think Mbakani is still the best striker at the club. I stand by that, but I do think we need a better striker to come in January. But I do genuinely believe that Mbakani is the most rounded, just the best striker at the club. But I'm not putting him in here because I think he needs to be rested, and I think he needs to be all ready to go ahead of Stoke, because at the end of the day, that is the bigger game, and that is the game that will keep us in the Premier League, not this game. So I'm going to go with Cameron Jerome. I think he's been half decent this season. I don't think he's a Premier League player, but he's put in his all and he's scored a few goals, and you can't really moan at that. So Cameron Jerome goes in there for me. But as I said, this is a really interesting encounter, and I don't know what team we're going to go with. That's my team. Please do feel free to leave me your team in the comments. I'll always read them. I'll let you know if I disagree with them. Please do let me know if you disagree with my team. That's what YouTube's all about. Let's have a discussion in the comment section. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you've liked this video, share it about with your mates. Tell them at school, tell them at college, do whatever, and share it about on Twitter and all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my match preview coming very soon as well, and I'll see you at the game on Saturday. Peace out.